Yet what we fail to see is that we don't merely have a violence problem, but more accurately a silence problem. The fact that you despise us don't surprise us. We've uncovered the mystery. You stole our collective history. Is the American pie just passing you by? Many reduced to plot and scheme just to chase the American dream. While the Christian church continued to court and chase the almighty dollar, I now serve the God whose proper name is Allah. Selah.
Isn't he a poet?
I hear he supports Farrakhan.
He looks like Denzel Washington to me.
He told me that he wanted to be the most powerful black poet of the 21st century.
Who am I? I'm Steven Silver, and I am the American Griot. My next poem is entitled, Morning Mandela. Oh, what an outstanding fella that Nelson Mandela. A name that would receive world acclaim. Yet his countrymen affectionately called him Madiba, her paternal name. And oh, what a pillar this Nelson Mandela. To see his ascension, his foes would cringe, yet he never thought nor sought revenge. Through the years, he never became cynical or cold. Through the years, he never became timid, but remained confident and bold. He knew the day would come, the day his people would embrace freedom. A mere South African resident would rise to become its iconic president. So we pause and salute this long-awaited and deserving tribute. But where were you when we heard the wailing cries? Where were you when Mandela died? In history he would be hurled, surely a light of the world. And oh, he touched us. In life he touched us, a true general of justice. As the balance of justice juggled, he never abandoned his selfless struggle. He fought that South Africa might be free, an example for the entire world to see. He was offered a compromise, but he made a decision. He decided to remain in prison, a man we salute and give tribute. He chose to unite people. He saw us all as equals. A champion of freedom, a man of peace. In 1999 from prison, he was released. But where were you when we heard the wailing cries? Where were you when Mandela died? A man of peace, some would hurl. Perhaps the light of the world. Through hardship, trials, and patience, he rises from founder of a democratic nation. He took the place in history's pages, surely a man of the ages, surely a legacy he has left, a pillar of hope in his death. To free his people, he made a covenant, charged and convicted for trying to overthrow the government. A man of African descent would rise from prisoner to president. Democracy and freedom for all. We will never forget his triumphant call. He would hold no enmity, a true champion of dignity. Time ticked on, yet he survived to the ripe old age of 95. As the South African people lied in bed, they awake to the news that Madiba was dead. And in the end, when all is said and done, not just South Africa, but the entire world has lost one of its greatest sons. On every occasion, he spoke so eloquently as a polished statesman. And in the end, when all is said and done, the world would take note of the power of one. But where were you when we heard the wailing cries? Where were you when Mandela died? His inspiration he drew from above. He didn't choose hate, but he chose love. Don't get it twisted, don't think twice. Mandela sacrificed his entire life. The news of his death, a hole in our hearts left. And in the end, surely he endured more than the sons of men. We were still surprised when he left his much anticipated death. And oh, his brilliance, his unwavering resilience, fighting for justice, turning the tide. He systematically dismantled the system of apartheid. And from a cell he has risen. He spent 27 years in a dank, dark prison. In 1993, he did rise, even received the Nobel Peace Prize. Freedom, freedom, he would hurl. A man respected around the world. Great men and women admired him, and it varies. Yes, kings and queens and dignitaries. Thank you. My next poem is entitled Fury, the Advent of Hurricane Sandy. Hurricane Sandy, ominous storm clouds forming like cotton candy. This highly horrific hurricane. But who's the culprit? Who's to blame? An act of man or God, we wonder, tearing this material world asunder. Allah, God's judgment, recognizing this position is not popular. But you rather trust in the weatherman's Doppler? America has glorified in its own magnificent land, worshiping the very ground upon which we're standing, bowing down to the God in the Bible that Jesus called Mammon. Is America a modern-day Tower of Babel? Babel, Big Apple? Oh, America, you have forgotten God. Now you face his divine chastening rod. But what is God saying to you and me? Even the deaf and blind can hear and clearly see. From any gauge from which we measure, certainly we experience Allah, God's divine displeasure. Or I can only try to understand. Or I can only try to understand. Oh, how suddenly it came and went. Surely a swift judgment has been sent, leaving behind God's fingerprint. This issue we must confront. Yet I've got to be painfully blunt. I'm aware that I'm not coming across politically correct. But the problem of America is this idol it has erected. America, you have set up a God besides God, and the stench of idolatry has reached heaven. And to God the smell is pungent. And now you cannot get around the great jealousy of Allah's judgment. So I come to you as no prophet, no sage, no rabbi, no priest, to tell you the obvious, that your world as you know it has suddenly ceased. Compassion? I can only try to understand. I can only try to understand. Oh, how awful the wind did blow. Oh, how furious the floods did flow. I can only try to understand. I can only try to understand. Oh, the rain, the devastation, and the pain. Rains, winds, floods, hell, fire, and snow. The entire arsenal of heaven for sure. Now it's obvious, I do not have to mention, God has now gotten our attention. America has been warned, the culprit is Mammon. Yet we cannot worship the ground from which we're standing. We must worship God and God alone. None dare tread upon his sacred throne. Hurricane Sandy has come and went. Yet God will heal our land if we repent. Thank you. My next poem is entitled Angelo, Honor. Maya Angelou. That's Dr. Maya Angelou to you. For all others, Maya Angelou will nicely do. Not found haughty by all that life brings, nor the air to kiss the ring, but defines what modesty means. Born Margaret Ann Johnson, April 4th, 1928. Yet she did not wait or hesitate to take her place amongst the great. An African-American author and poet. Soon the entire world would come to know it. In St. Louis, Missouri, this is where we begin the story. The story of all splendor and glory. Her occupation to shake a nation. A poet, an advocate of civil rights, a playwright. She picked her battles, she picked her fights. Dancer, professor, film producer, TV producer, yet she never ever stopped to parade her many, many accolades. Actress and author. Her meager beginnings as pimp, prostitute, and pauper. Early on, she gained hold to success. She played in the opera entitled Porgy and Bess. She worked closely with Malcolm X and Dr. King. She wrote her famous poem entitled I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. It brought her fame and world acclaim, yet her troubled past never brought her shame. She was a professor at Wake Forest University, North Carolina. She actively served as a bona fide civil rights fighter. And as a black woman, she worked it. More than 80 appearances on the lecture circuit. She shook a nation at President Bill Clinton's inauguration. She recited her poem on the pulse of morning, you see, of 1993. But it was not all easy as she makes it look. Attempts were made to ban her books. She wrote of her experiences, yes, largely autobiographic, yet some deemed entirely too graphic. Surely she is a depiction of African-American female racial pride, a mentor of many, yes, even the august Oprah Winfrey. The origin of her name, it was her older brother who nicknamed her Maya for my sister. Angelou, now that's the tongue twister. Though her writings is glorious and great, she wrote of how she was raped at 8. Subsequently not known to many, she would cry many years. Young Maya became mute for nearly 5 long years. The rapist's sentence was bungled, but justice was served. He was presumably killed by Maya's uncles. But the rapist did not win. Angelou credits a teacher and friend who taught her how to speak again. She attended California Labor School where she began to prance. She studied drama and all sorts of African dance. She wrote of a time, one of poverty and crime. She wrote what mattered, a single mother falling down the social ladder, and she did it as if there were nothing to it. She sang and danced to calypso music. She reminded us all of our mother, a star that shines bright like no other. So for this frail, elderly black woman, our prayers to heaven now float. For a life the entire world will stand and take note. So we say farewell, we say goodbye. Truly an angel in disguise. As we sit back and reminisce, upon the air we blow a kiss. Maya Angelou, you will be sorely missed. Thank you. My next poem is entitled Uncensored. Don't you dare try censoring me, for only truth brings us liberty. I'm not bound by what sounds nice. Being kind will not suffice. You'd have me to break my black neck just to stay politically correct. But I ask my people, who are we really trying to please? Now that I'm vocal, who must I appease? Treated like some dreaded disease. As for me, like Malcolm, I would rather tell the truth, no matter how it may seem uncouth. Why must I shuffle, bend and bow? Why not kick the sacred cow? As a black leader, it's time for me to stand up now. To be strong and not weak. No longer our slave masters' children favor we seek. To say precisely what is on my mind. To run the risk of sounding unkind. I refuse to go alone, cover all my bases. I just love my people, now I'm a racist. It's up to me to be an example, to break the bands from which we're shackled. I'm not a slave, so let me be. I was born to be free. This is my truth, their aching tooth. It is not my intent to offend, so judge me by the spirit from which it is sent, because truth is not always pleasant. I cannot dress it up like some Thanksgiving pheasant. Or I'll say what needs to be said, though kings may decree to take my head. To speak fearlessly with power, to discern the time of the black man's day and hour. For we as a people have been severely broken, stripped and reduced to the white man's token, silent, waterless hydrants, clouds without water, taught not to respond but obey master's order. Suck it up, and you better not shout, and don't neglect to show the white man respect. White man, I'm not your slave. I'm not your peasant. What I have to say now is not very pleasant. I'm not a slave. I will be heard because I'm only as free as my spoken word. Thank you. My next poem is entitled The Fury in Missouri. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. When will this unrest finally cease? Looking to Ferguson, Missouri, as a nation reacts, the straw that broke the proverbial camel's back. Yes, a single straw, much too weighty for America to ignore. A straw, a life called Michael Brown, uprooted from us for now, yet replanted in hollow ground. As we watch and wait, hoping to get this problem solved, slowly watching Dr. King's dream dissolve. Yes, a straw, the embodiment of our collective hopes and dreams that we still look for, not just in her metaphor. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. When will this unrest finally cease? No justice will not be found till there's justice for the young black man named Michael Brown. And for justice we will not beg. America, you help create this powder keg. Tempers flare, tempers adjourn. To make things worse, you introduce the National Guard. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. When will this unrest finally cease? Yet here we are, we're still marching. We didn't see justice for Emmett Till nor Trayvon Martin. And lending to the fury, we patiently waited upon judge and jury. But why? Why do we feverishly wait as others decide and debate our fate? As we as a people band together, we will not, cannot march forever. They tell us when and how to protest. They subject us to police arrest. Yet guns and gear we will not count. We refuse to budge, bend or bow. Hence, our thirst for justice must be quenched. How long? How long will this intimidation last? As you flood our lungs with your tear gas. Police present, riot gear, preying upon the people's fear, yet no reason or rhyme, turning back the hands of time. Tear gas, rubber bullets, businesses closed, reminiscent of the 1960s police dogs and water hose. America, when will you learn? It is for justice which we yearn. You can continue to toy with us, playing games, and you'll watch this entire country go up in flames. Do you not understand when justice is nowhere to be found, this nation will surely burn to the ground? White police, black citizenry, strained relations in our nation. Guns join as we march. Our thirst for justice, we're feeling parched. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. How long will justice be out of our reach? No, we will not be intimidated by your police ranks or military tanks. The verdict, we only knew you sing to us another sad song, urging us to just get along. Our patience is running thin. Police brutality and the unjustifiable homicide of our people, particularly of our young, must end. For we are not the defaulters. So how many more of our young black males must be sacrificed upon injustice's altar? For justice we will not be robbed. Zero tolerance. Every questionable officer must lose their job. Too long. Justice has not been blind and impartial. Too long. For us, justice has not been swift. This disturbing pattern must end, beginning here in Ferguson. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. We're mad. We will no longer be duped ahead. We're sick. We will no longer be conned, fooled, or tricked by your empty promises and rhetoric. And we will not be ignored. We will be heard. We will not be dismayed or daunted by the death of Emmett Till, Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, Eric Garner. America, you will forever be haunted, starting here, starting now. Injustice for us must end, beginning in Ferguson. Thank you. My next poem is entitled, It's Our Time. It's our time. It's our time to shine. Can't turn a deaf ear or be willfully blind. It's our time to march. Our thirst for justice with feeling parched. Yes, it's our time, undoubtedly yours, undoubtedly mine. So toll the bell, sound an alarm. take our place and link our arms. Because it's never, ever too be late, to be great. So live a life full of purpose. Offer humanity your undying service. The clock keeps ticking, only time will tell. Were we too deaf to hear the bell? Will you turn a blind eye to injustice's cry? Or turn a deaf ear, give in to fear? Or will we be the heroes and sheroes, no time for small egos? Will we answer the call? Or do nothing at all? Will we be willfully blind, content to stand upon the sideline? It's up to you, no one to blame. It's time for you to get in the game. Enough is enough. It's time for you to take a stand, knowing that our fate has always been within our own hands. To raise our voice, yes, every man, woman, boy, and girl. For our goal is nothing short but to change the world. In society, if you don't like what you see, say these words: "It's up to me." It's not magic or mystery. We can change the course of human history. So stand up. Stand up for what you believe. You'll be surprised what you can achieve. We are witnessing the changing of the guards, the passing of power. This is most definitely our finest hour. Make the world a better place. It's not too late to change our fate. So don't be late for destiny's date. So we salute all the civil rights leaders as race relations precariously teeters. It's always darkest before dawn, countless of victories to be won. I've come to the simple conclusion: you're part of the problem if you're not part of the solution. And with thunderous cheers, the world would take note that we took the time to cast our vote. Dr. King taught us a lesson we must learn. To be great, you must rise beyond your individualistic concerns. So we run this race, knowing that time is precious and we cannot waste. So lift your voice and be heard. It's our time, so spread the word. Yes, lift your voice and sing, till earth and heaven rings. Did we respond when they tolled the bell? Perhaps only time will tell. It's our time. We want to explode, just to vent and release. But remember, Dr. King's chief weapons were love and peace. It is our time. It is our time to get down and dirty into the trenches, knowing the progress slowly inches. Remembering where we came from, yet knowing we have the power to affect future generations to come. For we are the stewards of that which is right. Jesus said we are the light. And remaining forever cautious, we will forever have to fight the forces of darkness. It's our time as flags unfurl, to bring hope and rescue a dying world. It's our time, I know this is true. With bated breath, the world is waiting on you. The world is filled with problems we must discuss, but the world is actually waiting on us. And oh, what a legacy we can leave, to fight for a man who could not breathe. And guns and gear we did not cow, remembering the young man named Michael Brown, and in the end, having faith for which we're marching, honoring the life of Trayvon Martin. Yes, it's our time to shine, knowing in our hearts that we did our part. Yes, it's our time to shine like the brilliance of the sun, knowing in our hearts that God's will on earth through us was done. Thank you. My next poem is entitled, Hey, Stand for Peace. Hey, stand for peace in the Middle East. Innocent men and women caught in a flare. Countless of civilians being buried. Yes, slaughtered by the military. Yet force and violence are not the answer. It's a deadly duel like malignant cancer. The world is getting smaller while nation problems are growing larger. Israeli and Palestinian, a continual fight over land. It's a little complicated, you understand? Yet this small world, no place to run, no place to hide. Are we headed for global suicide? But before we begin, before we commence, let's just use a bit of common sense. You're fanning the flames of mistrust and hatred, and human life is no longer sacred. Both sides praying to God, but they pray amiss. War, it's like spiraling down a deep abyss. The world is watching, people dying. As religious folk, what are you exemplifying? People displaced, leaders in the valley of indecision. In the balance lies the lives of innocent civilians, and things are getting insane, shooting down innocent people in civilian planes. Things are getting out of joint. You reduce to bombing citizens just to make a point, and the entire world stands watching and waiting. All this power is so intoxicating. Why? Why don't these great religions look and gaze above? I thought we conceded to the fact that God is love. And loving your neighbor should not be this hard. Killing folk and playing God. The nations of the earth are in an uproar. Things getting worse as tempers soar. War, it's a burden we cannot bear. What if you saw rockets and missiles flying through the air? Sacred writ declares decree, thou shalt not kill, it's atrocious. Tablets delivered by the prophet Moses. War, have you exhausted all other options? War, are you intent and bent on building coffins in massive graves, the people you bury? You think the answer lies in the cemetery? Israeli and Palestinian, a history of mistrust and caution. All eyes on you and the world is watching. 3, sacred religions, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, in a state of bedlam. 3, great religions birth. So how did we get to the place of obliterating each other off the face of the earth? The stakes are high, the situation dire, the teetering balance of military power. Yet war is not the answer. It'll eat us all alive like some deadly cancer. Tempers flare, tempers soar. We must concede to the fact that the answer is not war. In this world which we live, war is outdated. It is in fact so antiquated. You call yourselves religious people, yet you destroy. Rockets and missiles you deploy. You play like toys, like immature little girls and boys. Can we not broker a solution? What about a two-state solution? Your differences you must discuss. It's hard moving forward amidst the backdrop of suspicion and mutual distrust. You're caught up in a political duel, gaining momentum, no lack of fuel, fueled by hatred and suspicion. Now death and destruction, your central mission. The world's leaders brood, but the root of the problem lies in the family feud. A quagmire, a political log jam, Yet are you not all children of Abraham? Is the world doomed? Is this the beginning of the end? As nations refuse to budge or bend? Brotherhood, can we not find peace in this land called the Middle East? Like the prophets of old who are now deceased, can we not find something more powerful than military might? As religious folks, have we lost our sense of what's wrong and right? Show the world that your greatest virtue is not your vice. Discard the stubborn leaders whose hearts as cold as ice. America, take a moral stand. Be an example to an ancient and distant land, and let peace reign. Let peace reign to the skies of Malaysia, to North and South Korea and all of Asia. Let peace reign. Let peace erupt throughout all Europe. Let peace reign. Let peace reign to Iraq, to Iran, to Afghanistan, to all the distant and ancient land, to every Jew, to every Christian and Muslim, and all faiths in peace be robed, to all those around the spinning globe. Let peace reign. Let peace reign to the poorest Haiti, to America, the most powerful nation on the earth, to every race and creed, to those who have, to those in need. Let peace reign. Let peace reign throughout the entire world, in every mind and heart of every man, woman, boy, and girl. And when the dust settles, when the fighting cease, it would be because we decided to take a stand for peace. Thank you. My next poem is entitled Forgiveness. We unknowingly lend to our own anguish. Forgiveness, the most twisted word in the English language, by any gauge from which we measure. Certainly anger is a natural feeling of displeasure. To err is human, to forgive is divine. But justice is blind, impartial, and level, the champion of truth. So whatever happened to an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth? You're just gonna hang me? Tell my children let the hangman go and not be angry? We unknowingly lend to our own anguish. Forgiveness, the most twisted word in the English language. White America has perpetrated every dastardly crime believable to the extent and degree that is almost inconceivable. Forgive your enemy, that is absurd. The most foolish thing I've ever heard. Forgiveness is a legal term. It means to absolve of guilt. It is like asking blacks to forgive whites for the way this country was built. Yes, built on the backs of our descendants. Yet white America remains unremorseful and shows no repentance. We unknowingly lend to our own anguish. Forgiveness, the most twisted word in the English language. Forgive Jeffrey Dahmer, the bomber, Jack the Ripper. It's like asking Jews to absolve Adolf Hitler. Forgiveness, do you not know what it means? Did not Dr. King say, let justice flow down like a mighty stream? You raped our women, and you wonder why I'm still fuming? It's not conjecture but fact that you decimated the Native American tribes in exchange for reservations, casinos, and bribes. The evidence is insurmountable. Yet you never expected to be held accountable. Now you're the children, the benefactors of the slave masters, presently white America are the heirs, the recipients, and now you enjoy your social economic standing as a direct result of your relationship with the slave master, and you hypocritically offer us eternal life in the hereafter. Forgiveness, the truth is at hand, not far reaching. Ask yourself, who would benefit from such a teaching? A man and men shall reap what they sow. It's criminal to let another criminal go. Now free from immunity, America freely roams, bent on buying and taking our homes. Justice must be served to give us what we deserve. The sins of their fathers, egregious and insurmountable. Is it wrong to hold someone accountable for these criminal acts? Justice must be swift and exact. I know you are highly intelligent, not even remotely dense. So let's just use a bit of common sense. With a gun in your hand, you kidnapped us from our native land. You packed us in ships like sardines, traded us for mere sugar cane and coffee beans, boats filled with dung and disease. White America did what it pleased, like a dirty vulture. You robbed us from our precious culture to develop a new world. That was your mission. You resorted to beating us into submission, to rend our families apart. You instilled fear in our baby's heart. Your founding fathers, just a few men, justified slavery by not calling us men. We unknowingly lend to our own anguish. Forgiveness, the most twisted word in the English language. You treated us rotten. You forced us to pick your cotton. No accountability. You did as you please. You hang our ancestors from the highest trees. And now you blame us for our lot. As you continue to scheme and plot, me forgive you, I think not. We built your mansions with the trees we sawed. You scarred our backs until they were raw. You made us work in bad weather. You threatened us with tar and feather. Long days as a people we toil. You even boiled some of us in oil. You mastered your fiendish plot. With wild horses you used to tear us apart. You destroyed our family structure. You sold us in auctions. You forbidden us from reading as a precaution. You emasculated our men. You raped our women. Now in inner cities bent on buying and taking our homes. It's high time that you make amends. You see why it's hard for us to be friends? Now you know why we cannot pretend. Perhaps if I were ignorant of my history, I would not be so angry. Give you another opportunity to hang me. I'm not pleased by my people's lot. I'm not duped by this forgiveness plot. Forgiveness taught and taken to be gospel. But for me to expect justice, does that make me so awful? You're going to tell me it's all right to mistreat me, my son, my daughter, my grandfather, my ancestors, then offer forgiveness and later and extend forgiveness to you, the perpetrator? In the end, we unknowingly lend to our own anguish. Forgiveness, the most twisted word in the English language. Down in our communities, you view us as thugs. You flood our community with your illegal drugs for our poor to sell, providing us with enough gunpowder and firepower to kill ourselves. Your brotherhood of police continues to give us hell. With us to full capacity, you fill your jails. You despise our presence. That is why you relegate us to ghettos and slums. You live real good while we live like bums. All these atrocities, these crimes charged against you are unembellished, true, accurate, and level. So why you insulted when we call you devils? To err is human, to forgive is divine. Maybe that's your mantra, but it is not mine. Thank you.
I'll take it out, I'll take it out. Somebody's gotta shout. I found my ticket out. No take the whole hood with me, 'cause I just can't let them be. Just can't let them be. And I'll take you with me. 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 I'll take it out, out. I'll take it out. Somebody's got a shot. I found my ticket out. No longer in the hood. I found a better neighborhood. Yet I'll take the whole hood with me, 'cause I just can't let them be. Just can't let them be. And I'll take you with me. 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 And I'll take every poor black boy and girl. Show them a better world. Teach them to dream with me of a brand new society. And I'll take the homeless hands. Show them a better land. The drug dealer and used to boot. And I'll take the prostitute. Take you with me. I'll 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 take you with me. So let's go. So let's roll. So let's go. So let's roll. 'Cause I've got to take a stand. I've got to be a better man. Strength for the healing hand. Take the people to the promised land. So let's go. So let's roll. So let's roll. So let's roll. I'll take it out, 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 out. I'll take it out. Somebody's got to shout. I found my ticket out. No longer in the hood. I found a better neighborhood. Yet I'll take the whole hood with me, 'cause I just can't let them be. Just can't let them be. And I'll take you with me. 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 I'll take it out, 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 out. I'll take it out. Somebody's got a shot. I found my ticket out. No longer in the hood. I found a better neighborhood. Yet I'll take the whole hood with me, 'cause I just can't let them be.